O'Neill Outside with Travis Johnson.
Oh, give me 5 days down, man. Oh, shit, he gave me too pretty a shot. I couldn't pass it up.
CBA 50 caliber MR.
CBA nitride muzzle loader.
O'Neill Outside with Travis Johnson is presented each week by CBA. It's just a better gun.
Hello again, everyone. I'm O'Neill Williams, and welcome to our program. Today, well, I'm going to hunt with Cody, my youngest grandson. It's been incredibly dry this year. It's already December, and this is our first hunt together, and it's going to be a one-day hunt. But it's special because he picked it out. He's going to show me, instead of my big mouth telling him where to hunt, he's going to show me. And you'll see it all today, and maybe we'll get one day. It's today on O'Neill Outside, I promise.
All right, O'Neill. So this is where I found the most promising sign at. We have rubs over here, and back in that direction, we have scrapes over here. I found deer trails going straight to the food plots.
All right, well, first of all, what about the rut was a month ago?
Yes, sir.
All right. What was wrong with the other place that you looked at before you found this?
Well, I went looking, and some spots were decent, but this is where I found the most activity.
Okay.
Still, because there's still trails that are being kicked up, recently as well.
Okay, well, show me what you did here.
All right. There's a scrape right here that I found, and what I found so far is that they're coming up this road here, going in the general direction of the food plots. And if you walk up here and follow this trail, there are rubs just about every 10 feet you go back.
The rut was a month ago, so I'm kind of surprised you found as much as you have.
Yes, sir, I was as well.
There's a rub right there. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
for everybody's benefit now, because this is not O'Neill's big mouth as we go along here, people say, well, he's rubbing the velvet off his antlers. Why don't you tell us what he's really doing?
Well, he's also laying out his scent for the other deer during the rut, so the does know I'm over here. All the other smaller bucks know that they have competition, as you could say, and it's all about the scent, especially with the scrapes. They're sitting there, and what a lot of the bucks, what they do is they pee on their legs.
Okay.
And it goes down and lays the scent right there, and their antlers, the glands in their antlers will lay it all in the branches as well. And
Okay,
that's why
he rubs it all up in here?
And that's why the branches break most of the time as well.
Okay, so when you see this, then you look above, and it's probably a dual sign.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, here's an older rub that I found right here. And as you go along right here, you'll find a lot more of them up this trail. I'll show you where the deer trail is.
Okay. Right to the food plot?
Yes, sir. Here's where the trail is, where I believe they're making their way through the food plots. You can faintly see it because all the leaves dropping, but
You can see a few footprints there.
yes, sir, and you can see where they're making their way through and kicking up logs with their hoofs, where they're stepping on it a lot.
Okay. So this is what you've picked out.
Yes, sir. I believe it'll be promising to us. I'm hoping so.
Well, the sign looks like there's activity.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, what else can you do?
That's all we need.
All right. Now, tomorrow morning, Cody is going to be in the stand by himself. I'm going to be about a mile away, probably in the truck taking a nap. But it's for Cody and a cameraman. And tomorrow, Cody will be in the stand with that 50 caliber. All right, let's go.
O'Neill Outside with Travis Johnson, brought to you by Conus Optics, the Whitetail Institute of North America, Bill Jordan's Realtree Camo, the Furminator, Enforcer Fire Aid 2000, Bojangles, and your local Toyota dealer.
Well, Cody got to the stand well before daylight, but daylight was late in coming because it turned out to be really foggy that day. The fog was so thick that Cody could barely see all the way across the food plot. When the fog finally lifted enough, Cody could spot one lone small deer near the tree line on the far side. You can barely make it out, but that's a young spike. And that's pretty much all the action Cody had this December morning.
We've been here about 3 hours now. We haven't really seen much today. We're about to go back to the house, try to get something to eat, regroup, and see what we're going to do from there. Well,
I had a nice nap. How about you?
I got to see a spike. First light this morning.
Is that all?
Yes, sir. That's all we got
That's
to see.
usually a really good stand.
I know. I was expecting much more, but that's all we got to see for the day so far.
How far away was he?
He was about 200 yards away from
well,
us.
That's not a muzzleloader shot.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you sight in for?
Well, we sighted in for 80. Sighted in for 80 yards, shot it twice, got it within an inch of apart from each other.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm comfortable with that. Not wanting to take too far of a shot. It is a muzzleloader. If you need anything longer than that, you use a rifle,
That's right.
basically.
That's why you're here, and that's why you're using that. All right, now, let's investigate for a second.
Yes, sir.
Saw just one little deer. Do you want to change? Go back to the other place?
No, because the reasons why I picked this place haven't changed in that one morning hunt.
Okay.
I might have picked a spot where it's preferably afternoon times for the deer to come out to that food plot.
Well, traditionally, at this place, and we've hunted here lots of times, the afternoons are better.
Yes, sir.
So that's a good choice.
I want to stay here and just wait it out. It is our only day, but patience, you know, a lot of times helps more than anything.
Patience kills turkeys, and
Yes,
patience
sir.
kills deer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, let me show something to somebody.
All right.
It's hunting has been terrible. We were in a drought here in the southeast. The food plots dried up. They just turned to nothing. They're coming back now, but it's been very difficult. And the owners of the property told us, and I've been going down here visiting 10 or 12 years or more, and they said it's never been this way ever in 30 years. So I've got a little trick here. I'm not a trickster, but I want to show you something. Let me reach in here and get this. Let's see if we can do something. This is something I discovered called pay dirt. And it's a sweetener. It's honey and molasses, and it's grain, just like a powder. I'm going to put it in the food plot. It's an attractant, it's a cover, and deer love it, and they'll smell it, and they visit, and it keeps them going back and back and back, and one of these things will last about a month, maybe 6 weeks. So it's just a little, tiny little bit extra. It's called pay dirt. Do me a favor. Do yourself a favor, take a moment sometime soon, visit o'neilloutside.com. Right there on the home page is a little list right on the front that says the online store. My good friends and I have put together quite a lineup of outdoor gear. O'Neill Outside branded t-shirts and hoodies and all that, but more than that. It's great gear, great prices, good discounts, prompt delivery. Take a look at the O'Neill Outside with Travis Johnson online store. It's worth your time, and I would appreciate you doing that. I don't make any money, but trying to provide a service. what do you think? Are you going to take a doe if you get one out?
Yeah, I believe I will. I want some meat, but if I also see a decent buck, I mean...
So you're going to take something, if there's something in front of you, you're going to take it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just make sure your yardage when
yes,
you get
sir,
there so that you don't have to look at the yardage when you see the deer.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
You already got it?
Have it all checked out.
Okay, you're good? Okay.
I believe so.
The last lesson that Cody's going to teach us today is when you're going in and you cross a food plot to go to the stand, go.
You go straight through the center of it.
Why?
Don't go around the sides, because that's where the deer go.
If he's going to smell you, let him smell you after he's gotten to the middle.
He's
not
already
on
in the
edge.
kill zone.
Good look, and pay close attention. If you start to take a doe, pay close attention to her body language as if she's still looking.
Yes, sir.
To see if because she knows if something
Make
else
sure
is
nothing
coming.
else is.
If she's nice and relaxed, nothing looking around, then go if you want.
All right.
Good
Sounds
luck
good.
to you.
All right, see you when I get out.
I just put Cody in the stand and he'll be there till dark, and I'm going to take another nap in the truck, but it gives me the opportunity to make some recommendations to you. The mounts and all in my trophy room are all there to remind me of the hunt and the fishing trips and so on. And you should take photos. Take lots and lots and lots of photos. So I'm going to make some points here that I want you to try to remember about your photos. Number one, if you're on a hunt and you're taking a photo of the deer, make sure the rifle is not pointed at your head, okay? You make it safe. Number two, clean up the deer. If the deer's tongue is hanging out, it's going to take away from the memory of that. Cut the deer's tongue off. Clean him up. Have some rags and some cleanup and clean the deer up. Don't show a bullet hole going in with blood dripping out of it. Clean it up. Make it a little bit better, all right? Get closer. Get really close, and here's some examples of that, because you don't need to see people's feet and you don't need to see the pine trees behind them. Get so that the deer's antlers are against the skylight, and take plenty of them. I have a friend who is a professional photographer, and she worked for a newspaper, and she told me that for every single photo that was worthwhile, she took over 30. So take pictures. And if you've got a cell phone, you are a photographer, okay? Lastly, then, the biggest mistake I think is the sun is overhead and everybody pulls their hat down like this and you can't see you can't even tell who they are. Pay attention to the light. After all, it's about you and them and the hunt, and that is the memory. Good camera helps, but you can take them with your phone and they'll turn out beautifully if you think of those things. And that is your CONUS tip of the week. Cody got settled into the stand early afternoon. Now, this was our only day to hunt, so we wanted to spend as much time as possible in the stand. Middle of the afternoon was kind of slow, but that's okay. As we said before, this property tends to have more whitetail action late in the afternoon. And then, somewhere around 4 o'clock, one buck entered the far side of the food plot. The buck hung around and didn't seem to be in any hurry, so Cody had time to think about taking this particular buck. As you can see, he's a respectable 8, not a giant, probably just a couple of years old. So first, Cody had to decide if he wanted to shoot this buck or let him walk. At this club, the rule is 8 points outside the ears, and he does fit that criteria. If Cody chooses to shoot this buck, he still needs to get him in range. That was Cody's second concern. The far side of the field is about 200 yards.
It's at 174 right now.
The buck would need to get halfway back in the field for Cody to have a comfortable shot. All he could do was wait him out.
I'm not sure if I want to take him yet. He's about 180 yards, moving back towards us as we speak now. Looks like a big 8 outside of the ears. Not sure if I'm going to take him or not yet. Just stick around and we'll find out.
We have more with O'Neill and Travis, but first, let's thank these sponsors. QDMA, the Quality Deer Management Association. Georgia Power. Timbuktu Outdoors. Year One. The Georgia Department of Economic Development. Boat US. And Tough Shed. Now, let's join O'Neill for some flavorful cooking with Swaggerty Farm sausage.
Do you make chili every year with your venison or buffalo? I do. Every single year, a generous portion of your venison is made into chili. Well, I'm about to change the rules, and you'll always do this, I'll bet you, from now on. In the Dutch oven here, I have venison. What a surprise. However, I've added Swaggerty sausage to it because it has so much flavor. Fire roasted tomatoes, black beans, then cumin, chili powder, and something called cocoa powder. It's something called cocoa powder. And then green chilies. I wish I knew the name of that, but now you have a really good reason to go to the recipe at swaggertys.com and get this recipe, because this is the way you're going to have chili from now on. You know, that's the downside. Venison, it just doesn't have any flavor. It doesn't, you know, it's so lean, you have to do something with it. And this tops it off. Man, it looks great. I bet I have some of this a little bit later. And as it cooks out, and the venison and the sausage, of course, is already cooked, it will not take long. If I'm lucky, I can locate a top. And we'll have it in just a little while, I'll bet. Oh, man. Okay. This looks good enough to eat. And you can get the recipe. Swaggertys.com, O'NeillOutside.com. Time for the CVA guest book this week from Don Schway in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He says, as a hunting education instructor, I am occasionally asked to recommend a muzzleloading firearm for young people or small statured hunters. What product would you recommend? Okay, start out with a CVA Wolf. Okay, it's inexpensive, but more than anything else, whether it's a Wolf or a CVA MR, whatever the case might be, it's a 50 caliber, of course, and you are going to let them sight in the gun. You can't be afraid of it. I don't care if you're just 6 years old or 15, you can't be afraid of the gun when you're sighting in. So, it's not so much the caliber, it's the size of the bullet and the size of the powder charge. Use a lightweight 50 caliber bullet and no more than about 80 grains of powder. Use that when you're sighting in. That's certainly sufficient to take anything in North America. It doesn't have to be, you're not shooting elephants, okay? A Wolf CVA model. Use that. And if you'd like to be awarded a CVA Wolf, go to the CVA guest book at O'NeillOutside.com. If we use your question on the air, we'll send you the gun. Cody stayed in the stand well past dark. And that 8-pointer hung around too, but he never got close enough for the shot he wanted.
Well, we've been here now hunting this afternoon hunt, same spot as this morning. Had a couple deer come out to us. We had several does and one decent buck. He was an 8-pointer outside of the ears, something I had the ability to shoot here. Now, he wouldn't come within range for us. The closest he ever got to us was about roughly 150 yards, and he was making his way further back towards the does. So we sat here patiently waiting, seeing if he'd come by, and well, now it's dark. Don't have a deer on the ground, but I'm gonna see and hope that O'Neill will let me come back in the morning and try it again.
Well, Cody wanted to take him, but he was just too far. Past 150 yards is not a comfortable muzzleloader shot for him or for me either. He wanted to hunt another day, of course, but he didn't get to. We went back a week later, didn't see a shooter then either. But I promised him next year, when we went, we'd go during the rut. It'll work then. Whoa! Oh.